Border Guards Bangladesh, or BGB, is the oldest uniformed force in Bangladesh. It is a paramilitary force under the Ministry of Home Affairs. BGB is primarily responsible for the border security of the country. In Bangladesh, the force is known as the Vigilant Sentinels of the National Frontier. History. Border Guards Bangladesh, as a paramilitary force, is entrusted with the responsibility to defend the 4,427 kilometers border of the country. It is the first line of defense for the nation. BGB boasts an illustrious past with rich traditions and a remarkable military history spanning over 2 centuries. During peacetime, this force is also responsible for anti-smuggling operations, investigating cross-border crime and extending governmental authority to remote and isolated areas. From time to time, BGB has also been called upon to assist the administration in the maintenance of internal law and order, relief and rehabilitation work after any kind of natural disaster. During wartime, BGB comes under the control of the Ministry of Defense as an auxiliary force to Bangladesh Army. Ramgarh Local Battalion. The force was established in 29 June 1795 at the city of Ramgarh, consisting of 486 personnel, as the Frontier Protection Force, under the command of the East India Company. Later the force was converted into a paramilitary unit with its own name and uniform. At that time its primary responsibility was to suppress insurgent activities around the Ramgarh area. During 1799, the force established its first camp at Pilkhana, where the headquarters remain to this day. The camp unit then was known as Special Reserve Company, Frontier Guards. The Ramgarh Local Battalion was renamed as the Frontier Guards, and remained so for 30 years. Bengal Military Police. In 1891 the Frontier Guards were reorganized and re-equipped with modern weapons and renamed once again as the Bengal Military Police. Commanded by a subedar, the BMP had 4 companies located in Dhaka, Dumka and Gangtok. This force also participated in the First World War. Eastern Frontier Rifles. The BMP was reorganized yet once again and renamed as the Eastern Frontier Rifles in 1920. Its primary task was to protect the borders. It also took part in numerous military operations during the Second World War. East Pakistan Rifles. After the partition of India, Eastern Frontier Rifles was regrouped and renamed as the East Pakistan Rifles. It was the primary border protection force of the then East Pakistan. A number of Metropolitan Armed Police of Calcutta and some 1,000 ex-soldiers of West Pakistan merged into this force. Officers from the army were transferred to command and reorganize EPR. In 1958, it was also assigned the anti-smuggling duties on top of its primary role as the Border Guards. In 1965 India-Pakistan War, this force fought valiantly and successfully in a number of skirmishes in Lathitala, Doagram, Lakshmipur, Asalong and Baroi Beri. Major Tufail Muhammad was awarded the highest military award of erstwhile Pakistan, Nishani-Haidar, for his action in the Lakshmipur operation. The strength of the force was 13,454 during March 1971. Bangladesh Rifles. During the Bangladesh Liberation War of 1971, nearly 9,000 of the members of the East Pakistan Rifles turned against the Pakistan Army. Following the declaration of independence of Bangladesh on 26 March 1971 at Kalurghat radio station, Chittagong, 817 EPR personnel were subsequently reported as being killed in action. At the outbreak of the war, the EPR were the first Bengali military unit to defect from the Pakistan forces, moving to Shola Shahar and the main military cantonment, while calling on all Bengali soldiers to join him. Reportedly, West Pakistani officers serving with the EPR were executed by their Bengali colleagues. On 26 March, the Pakistan Army sent troops to suppress the EPR. The EPR ambushed them, but the Pakistanis managed to encircle them. As a result, the EPR took heavy losses at Kumara. According to Captain Rafiq, this ambush by the EPR troops at Kumara was the first direct action against the enemy in the history of our liberation war. At the outbreak of the war, East Pakistan Rifles was the border security and anti-smuggling force stationed in what was to become independent Bangladesh. It was commanded by junior commissioned officers at the company level. All EPR companies were based within 5 miles of the international boundary. There were 2 senior commissioned officers, seconded from the Pakistan arm, in command of each wing of the EPR. In March 1971, there were 12 EPR wings. The main revolt by the EPR was led by the company commanders or subedars, namely, Subedar Abdurrab, Subedar Keril Bashar Khan BP, Subedar Arabali, Subedar Talukdar, Subdar Mofazuddin, Subedar Muzaffar Ahmed BP, Subedar Nazrul Islam, Subedar A. Manan, Subdar Shakul Bu, Subedar Osman Ghani BP, Subedar B.R. Chowdhury, Subedar Fazlul Haq Chowdhury, and many other unknown JCOs who formed the backbone of the Bangladesh forces during the Bangladesh Liberation War. On January 29, 1972, the East Pakistan Rifles was renamed the Bangladesh Rifles. 2001 Bangladeshi-Indian border conflict. The 2001 Indian-Bangladeshi border conflict took place in the third week of April 2001 between companies of the Bangladesh Rifles in the Indian Border Security Force on the poorly marked international border between the two countries. This was the worst border conflict Bangladesh was involved in since independence. The April 16–19 fighting took place around the village of Padua, which adjoins the Indian state of Meghalaya and the Timbal area of the Bangladesh border in the Sylhet district. In that area, 6.5 kilometers of the border have remained in dispute for the past 30 years. The trigger for the clash appears to have been an attempt by Indian forces to construct a footpath from an army outpost in Padua across a disputed territory some 300 meters wide to Indian Meghalaya. On April 15, 2001, the BDR attacked and captured Pirdawa village. Both sides later de-escalated and returned to the original positions on the border. This incident left 16 Indian Border Security Force paramilitary men dead and 3 border guards Bangladesh men dead with 5 other BGB troops injured. February 2009 mutiny. On 25 February 2009, regular BDR soldiers mutinied against their officers who were seconded from the Bangladesh Army. Many senior officers were killed, including almost the entire higher echelon of the command structure, about 57 army officers who were present in the Bangladesh Rifles headquarters in the capital Dhaka. These included the Director General of the BDR. The soldiers mutinied due to reasons which largely remain unknown, though resentment at senior ranks being reserved for army personnel and allegations of corruption are believed to have been amongst the causes. After 30 hours being surrounded by Bangladesh Army tanks, the mutineers surrendered with about 6,000 of them taken under arrest, ending the mutiny. In the aftermath, the Bangladesh Rifles was reorganized with new recruits. The force is still commanded by senior officers seconded from the Bangladesh Army. Border Guard Bangladesh. The Bangladesh Rifles have gone through some fundamental changes since 2010. It was officially renamed as the Border Guard Bangladesh on January 23, 2011 and reorganized with fresh recruits. The BGB has a current strength of 67,000 organized into 61 battalions and largely located in numerous border outposts. Administration staff and most of the officer corps are trained by and seconded from the Bangladesh Army. However, there are around 100 officers promoted from within the force itself. 2014 Bangladeshi-Myanmar border skirmish on May 28, during a routine patrol of the BGB in Bandarban district, along the Bangladesh-Myanmar border. Myanmar border police opened indiscriminate firing on the BGB patrol. The incident took the life of border guard Corporal Mizanur Rahman, 43. The body of the slain soldier was then carried over the border by Myanmar border police. On May 30, upon request of the Myanmar ambassador to Bangladesh, a BGB team was waiting near border pillar No. 52 for identification of the dead body, which was proposed by the Myanmar side. However, to the complete surprise of the BGB, Myanmar border forces suddenly started firing on the waiting BGB team without any provocation, resulting in the BGB team returning fire. Both sides de-escalated and agreed to a ceasefire, and on the following day Myanmar returned the dead body of BGB Corporal Mizanur Rahman. Bangladesh's Ministry of Foreign Affairs had protested strongly to the Burmese embassy over the unprovoked eruption of gunfire by Burmese border troops. Decorations. But then East Pakistan Rifles joined the Bangladesh War of Independence on the side of Mukti Bahini in 1971. 141 members earned gallantry awards for their outstanding contribution to the liberation war of Bangladesh. Naik Nur Muhammad Sheikh and Naik Munshi Abdul Rauf posthumously earned the Bursrestha, which is the highest gallantry award of the nation. 8 earned the Bur Uttam, 40 earned the Bur Bikram, and 91 earned the Bur Protik awards. After independence, on 3 March 1972, the force had been renamed as Bangladesh Rifles, as a mark of recognition for the courage and bravery of its members. BDR introduced Bangladesh Rifles Podok in 1985 and President Rifles Podok in 1989. 21 members had received the Bangladesh Rifles Podok. 29 had received the President Rifles Podok. Responsibilities: patrolling and securing the border, investigating cross-border crimes, anti-smuggling operations, counter-terrorism, domestic law enforcement during national emergencies, acting as a reserve force under MOD during war. Organization: the BGB is commanded by a Major General. The BGB administration and most of the officer corps are trained and deputed from the Bangladesh Army. There are, however, around 100 officers who are promoted from within the force itself. They can be promoted as high as Deputy Director, which is equivalent to the rank of LT Colonel, and Assistant Director equivalent to the rank of Major, and Deputy Assistant Director equivalent to the rank of Captain in Bangladesh Army. Its current strength is 67,000 plus, structured along 61 battalions and numerous border outposts, mostly along the borders. BGB is organized into a central headquarters and 4 regional headquarters. Under the regional headquarters there are 16 sectors. Each sector is commanded by a colonel. Central HQ. Pilkhana, Dhaka Director General, Deputy Director General, Director, Director, Sector Command, 13th BGB Battalion, 24th BGB Battalion, 36th BGB Battalion, 44th BGB Battalion, Northeastern Regional HQ, Sarail Sector Command, 12th BGB Battalion, 19th BGB Battalion, 33rd BGB Battalion Sector Command, 6th BGB Battalion, 16th BGB Battalion, 27th BGB Battalion Sector Command, 5th BGB Battalion, 8th BGB Battalion, 14th BGB Battalion, 38th BGB Battalion, Northwestern Regional HQ, Rangpur Sector Command, 2nd BGB Battalion, 3rd BGB Battalion, 20th BGB Battalion, 40th BGB Battalion Sector Command, 37th BGB Battalion, 39th BGB Battalion, 43rd BGB Battalion, 46th BGB Battalion Sector Command, 25th BGB Battalion, 31st BGB Battalion, 7th BGB Battalion, 45th BGB Battalion Sector Command, Southeastern Regional HQ, Kagrachari Sector Command, 10th BGB Battalion Sector Command, 15th BGB Battalion, 17th BGB Battalion, 28th BGB Battalion, 42nd BGB Battalion Sector Command, 9th BGB Battalion, 11th BGB Battalion, 21st BGB Battalion, 29th BGB Battalion, 30th BGB Battalion, 47th BGB Battalion Sector Command, 1st BGB Battalion, 4th BGB Battalion, 18th BGB Battalion, 26th BGB Battalion Southwestern Regional HQ, Jesso Sector Command, 32nd BGB Battalion, 35th BGB Battalion Sector Command, 34th BGB Battalion, 22nd BGB Battalion, 23rd BGB Battalion, 41st BGB Battalion. Equipment.